Hello everyone, I am here to pursue second lecture on physics which is beneficial for the student for every competitive examination in which the subject physics is encountered. So here is the slide about myself. I am Professor Suraj Garud. My education qualification is BE Mechanical and Masters in CAD/CAM. Currently, I am working as Assistant Professor in Mechanical Department. I have more than 12 years of experience in the teaching field. So guys, let's deal with this lecture. So everyone, in the previous lecture we had seen a different types of measurement system in it. So let's recall from the previous lecture. So there will be four types of measurement system, that is MKS, CGS, FPS and SI unit. Let's have to write down. That is, first one was MKS, that is meter kilogram second. Second was CGS, means centimeter gram second, and third is FPS, that is foot pound second. It is also called as British unit. Then fourth one and important one is SI unit, SI measurement system, that is international system, and that would be accepted for the universe. Okay, also we had seen types of units. In the types of units we had seen two types, that is fundamental unit, and second is derived unit. In the fundamental unit we had seen what does it mean by fundamental unit. So fundamental unit are those physical quantity which is independent of any other physical quantity, means that is not depend on any other units. If you want to take an example, just like time, its SI unit is T, then length will be L. These are the SI unit that is independent, which will not depend on any other unit. Another is derived unit. Okay, derived unit are those units having those physical quantity will depends on another physical quantity. So fundamental is independent and derived is dependent on any other physical quantities. Okay, in the derived unit we have to take an example like a force. We know that force equals to mass into acceleration, so it is dependent on mass and acceleration both, so that's why it is called as derived units. Okay, also we had seen physical quantity and its SI unit, different physical quantities and its SI unit we had already seen. You must go through in the previous lecture and see it, watch it and recall it, because that was the most important for any competitive examination. So guys, in this lecture we will see another physical quantities that will be helpful for us in the competitive examination, mostly in terms of UPSC or MPSC, SSC, CGL, CHSL, junior engineers, in which the subject physics is going to belong. So guys, in the lecture we will see the physical quantity that had not seen in the previous lecture, and that will be most important in terms of the competitive examination. And for your knowledge also, it has been asked many times in the exams, so be careful in it, go through it, watch it, recall it. Okay, so first physical quantity in this is angular velocity. Okay, and next SI unit is radian per second. It will be noted as radian per second. Next physical quantity is inductance, and next SI unit is Henry, and it would be noted as capital H. Next is capacitance. Okay, then its SI unit is Farad, and it would be noted as capital F. Next is magnetic flux. Its SI unit is Weber, and it would be noted as capital W small b. Then next was the luminous flux, and it would be, yes, it had the SI unit is lumen, and it has been a notation of Lm. Next was moment of inertia, and its SI unit is kilogram meter square, and it will be noted as kilogram meter square. Next, angular momentum, and its SI unit is kilogram meter square per second. These are the physical quantity. Next physical quantity we will see, that is velocity, sorry, viscosity. Next physical quantity is viscosity. Its SI unit is Newton second per meter square. It would be noted as Newton seconds per meter square. Okay, and optical wavelength, its SI unit is angstrom. Also it would be noted as A0. Impulse, its unit is Newton second. Hey guys, we had seen a different physical quantity and its SI unit, but you may also know that what is physical quantity and different physical quantity and its meaning. ये क्या है? ये जो physical quantity हमने देखी है, that would be angular velocity, inductance, capacitance. You must know the meaning of this physical quantity also. I am going to explain some physical quantities that will help you in the exam. If you want all the description of all the physical units, physical quantity, so for that we should have to comment in the comment box, and later I am going to explain all physical quantities. But now instant I am going to explain some physical quantity that should be useful for you in the exam also. So we will see one by one. First is angular velocity. Before proceeding to the angular velocity, we must know what would be the velocity it is. Velocity. What is velocity? Okay, velocity is, let's take an example that whenever it is an object and whenever I am going to apply force on it, what will happen? It will move or displace from this position to this position. Okay, means it cover a distance of dx supposed to be, and within a period of time t. So velocity is nothing but the rate of change of that displacement. The rate means the rate of change of displacement with respect to the time. So this is velocity. So this velocity is in linear form. So that is also called as a linear velocity also. Which one? Linear velocity also. Okay, once you understood the linear velocity, we can deal with the angular velocity also. Okay, we know that linear velocity will be in a linear path. The path will be a linear. And in terms of angular velocity, what will happen? The velocity will be in terms of angle. So suppose take an example. Suppose this will be the circle. We will see in the next. But and this will be its axis of rotation, and any object which is supposed to be over here. Okay, and that's from this. Initially, the object will over here, and this will be the axis of rotation. Okay, this object will be rotate around this axis of rotation. Firstly, object is over here. If I am going to rotate it, what will happen? It covers from this position to this position. This initially will be here, and it will cover a distance this. So that cover distance, that angular distance cover is going to be theta, and that will be in a time t second. So angular velocity is the rate of change of angular displacement. The rate of change of angular displacement. This displacement is your linear. In linear velocity, normal velocity, the displacement is linear. Here the displacement is angular. Okay, so the angular velocity, the rate of change of angular displacement with respect to the time, that is d theta by dt, is nothing but your angular velocity. You must understood it. Okay, any confusion regarding, so you must have to be make a comment. I will clear your concept, don't worry about it. Okay, next next is moment of inertia. So guys, this is most important, moment of inertia. Everybody think about it, moment of inertia. You have read about it, but whenever you are going to read about it, you just know it's a mathematical form. But what would be the actual physical meaning of this moment of inertia? Most of the people will don't know. So we are going to clear the concept in it. What would be the actual meaning of moment of inertia? So generally, the moment of inertia will be of three types. Okay, so there are three types of moment of inertia. That is, first one is mass moment of inertia. mass, moment of inertia. Second is area moment of inertia. Area moment of inertia. Third is the polar moment of inertia. Polar moment of inertia. So mass moment of inertia, area moment of inertia, and the polar moment of inertia are the three types of moment of inertia. The word moment of inertia will be of two types. Means it consists of two sentences, that is movement and inertia. So we must know what would be the movement and what would be the inertia. What is the meaning of inertia? This also you should have to know. Inertia क्या होता है? Let's make clear it. Clear pair markings. Okay. Let's take an example. What will be the inertia? We know that there will be a ship over here. It will not sink in the sea. Why it is to be there? ऐसा क्यों होता है? A ship will not sink in the sea. Why this happen? Because that sea exert a opposing force on the ship, and that would be nothing but the inertia. Inertia is nothing but the reacting force, or resisting against the motion. Inertia, which is opposing the mass. Inertia is nothing but a opposing force to the mass. Okay. And the movement. What would be the movement? Suppose a single pillar is over here. I am going to apply force on this and on this. Okay. And what will happen if we apply the force over here and over here? That pillar will rotate about its axis. That's some axis in an anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so that is the movement of couple. Okay, so I think you should have to clear the concept, that is what would be the moment of inertia. Means it is nothing but the opposing force of a motion. Suppose the body is going to be displaced from this position. If I am going to apply force on it, and this body will displace on this direction. Okay, but during this direction it is going to be stopped somewhere. Why it is to be stopped? Somewhere said that it would be a stop because of friction. Okay. But at the same time some opposing force is to be applied on that object, that is nothing but the moment of inertia. Okay, in terms of example we should take later, in the mathematical term, a quantity expressing a body tendency to resist angular acceleration. Means a body has a tendency to resist its angular acceleration, which is the sum of product of mass of each particle in the body with the square of its distance from the axis of rotation. Suppose this will be the point of axis of rotation and this will be the object. Okay, so we have to find out the moment of inertia. It has a mass of m and the distance between is supposed to be r. So it is product of mass of each particle in the body and the square of its distance with the axis of rotation. So m r square is the moment of inertia at this point. Understood? Okay. Next we will see angular momentum. Angular momentum is the quantity of rotation of a body which is the product of moment of inertia and angular velocity. It is angular momentum is nothing but the product of moment of inertia inertia and its angular velocity, that would be omega. Okay, so you should have to be memorize it in the mathematical form. So it is the product of moment of inertia and the angular velocity. See, this is an example. We have to calculate the angular momentum. So it would be angular moment of inertia, moment of inertia I, and its angular velocity omega. That is nothing but the angular momentum. Next, we will see viscosity. Let's see an example for it. Observe this figure about the viscosity. See, stone over here, stone is being over here, stone is being over here, and stone is somewhat over here. Means what will happen over here? That stone, it will be sink at the bottom. Here it will be at the middle. Here it will be at the somewhere top, and here it will be at the top. Why it is to be happen? Same stone will reach up to the bottom, same stone will be reach up to the middle, some stone up to the reach up to the top, and some stone will not be sink. Why it is to be? It just because of the viscosity of a liquid. Means in this viscosity is being less, in this viscosity is being more, here viscosity is again more, and this will be the more viscosity, again more. Okay, means what will happen? Viscosity is going to resist that stone to sink in that fluid. Means as viscosity is going to be increased, means it increase its resisting force to some particle, that is viscosity of liquid. Hope you understood about it. Means viscosity, a quantity expressing the magnitude of internal friction in a fluid as measured by the force per unit area resisting uniform flow. So that would be the viscosity. In general terms, we should know it that viscosity is internal friction of a fluid that resisting whatever the object is to be going to be sink in it. That's it. Next, we will see capacitance. So we must know about the capacitance, what it is. Capacitance, for the capacitance we should have to take an example of like a fan. We have seen in our fan, okay, there will be a capacitance is being provided. Have you think about it, why this capacitance is to be over there? What would be the working of the capacitance for the fan, that ceiling fan? What would be the need of this capacitance for the ceiling fan? So actually, what would be the utilization of that capacitance? Okay, and if capacitance is not there, then the fan wheel is going to be rotate or not? The question is to be arise in yourself. You must arise as a question and you will get an answer by yourself only. Yes, that without capacitance the fan is also going to be on, but what will happen? It struck somewhere and it will not get that much of initial charge that required by fan to be start. So it is going to, हिंदी में बोलते हैं उसको झटका देना. It's somewhat like this. It will struck over there. Okay. So what capacitance will do over there? Capacitance will store the charge. What will be the electric charge is over there? It is going to be stored here, and whenever the fan is being required amount of charge, so that charge is going to be provided by this capacitance to the fan. Okay, so generally capacitance is the ability of system to store an electric charge. The ability of a system to store the electric charge. The ratio of change in electric charge in a system to the corresponding change in its electric potentials. You see example over here. देखा है कैपेसिटर्स दिखाया हुआ है, कैपेसिटर और कैपेसिटेंस. What it has a two plates. दो plates है यहाँ पे. Here are two plates. Okay, and here is dielectric medium. Dielectric medium over here. This will be the distance between two plates. Okay, generally that capacitance will be depend on its following types, following concept बोल सकते हैं उसको. The first one is overlapping area. Overlapping area of this plate is of this two plate, means how much area is going to be overlap. That will depend upon the capacitor and capacitance. Okay, then next was what would be the dielectric medium between these two plates. Dielectric medium in this plate. And the third was the distance between plates, means as we increase the distance between plates, the capacity of a capacitance to store the charge will increases. It also varies with the dielectric medium and also varies with the overlapping area. So basically capacitance is the ability of a system to store the electric charge. So you must understand it, recall it, go through it. I hope you clear your concept. Next we will see the inductance. Generally most of the people will going to be confused in capacitance and inductance. What is inductance and what will be the capacitor? Most of the people will confuse in it. Electrical engineers people will have to be solid known about it ki what would be the difference between them. So general people will understood about it. The property of electric conductor or a circuit that causes the electromotive force to be generated by change in the current flowing, means if you see in the capacitance what will happen, it store the electric charge, and inductance what will happen, during resisting the force it generate a electromotive force. It causes an electromotive force to be generated by change in the current flowing. Okay, see this will be the inductor and the coil is going to be wound around its inductor, and if you are going to pass a current over here, then what will happen, that current will pass throughout the inductor, and what will happen, it will generate EMF, electromotive force. Mean while both capacitance and inductance will have same for storage purpose, but the difference in between these is capacitance act as opposition of voltage. Capacitance, wait a minute, I have to clear it. Capacitance capacitance act as opposition of voltage, opposition, you must remind it, opposition of voltage. And inductance is opposition to change in current. So that difference you should know it. Opposite to change in current, means capacitance is deal with the voltage and inductance will deal with the current. Okay, hope you will understood its concept. Next who will see a very basic concept that we have already seen many more times in our school time. What would be the scalar quantity and what would be the vector quantity? I just gone through it. Hopefully you will know it. What is the vector quantity? Vector quantity is the physical quantity which are denoted in both direction and magnitude. Means the vector quantity is that quantity which has both direction as well as magnitude. Magnitude means it has a value. Okay, it has a value and direction both. A quantity which having direction as well as magnitude This is known as the vector quantity. Suppose we have to take an example of it, that would be force, displacement and velocity. These are the examples of vector quantity. Means suppose we have to take force. Whenever we are going to apply the force in this direction, this will move from in this direction. If I am going to apply a force in this direction, what will happen? That force is move over here. Okay, so it is depend upon the direction as well as the whatever amount of force is going to be applied over here. So that is the name, that is the thing, that is vector quantity. The physical quantity which are denoted in both direction as well as magnitude is known as the vector quantity. And what would be the scalar quantity? Scalar quantity is the physical quantity which are denoted by only magnitude and not a direction. A physical quantity which having only magnitude, it is deal with only a magnitude, not with the direction. Okay, so that is would be a scalar quantity. If suppose want to take an example, just like an length, mass and time, that would be only a magnitude. Just take an example, mass. We know that our mass, that is in terms of kg. Okay, that kg will be equal everywhere. Suppose my mass is supposed to be 70 kg. That 70 kg mass will be equally anywhere. That will not independent. It is independent upon the direction. Also, it is independent on the place also. Whatever my mass in the earth, that mass is be on the moon. Weight will be the different, but the mass over here, that will be the same. Means it is deal with only a magnitude, its value. Okay, then time and speed. Don't confuse in velocity and speed. These are two different things. Okay, so hope you understand vector quantity. What is vector quantity? What is scalar quantity? Vector quantity are those quantity which are deal with direction and magnitude. Scalar quantities are those quantity which are deal with the magnitude only. Next, we will see some important prefix in the measurement. Prefix means also know that kilo का prefix क्या होता है? What would be the prefix of kilo? That is 10 to the power of 3. Then deca क्या होता है? 10. Centimeters, that is 10 to the power of minus 2. Then micro, it is 10 to the power of minus 6. Then we should call pico. Okay, pico is equal to 10 to the power of minus 12. Then its zato will be 10 to the power of minus 18. Yocto, it is 10 to the power of minus 24. Same deci will be 10 to the power of minus 1. Milli, it would be 10 to the power of minus 3. Nano 10 to the power of minus 9. Then femto, it is 10 to the power of minus 15. Zepto, it is 10 to the power of minus 21. Okay, then hecto, it is 10 to the power of 2. Tera, that is 10 to the power of 12. Exa, that is 10 to the power of 18. Then yoto, it is 10 to the power of 24. So you must go through it. Okay, recall it. So guys, here we stop. If you like this lecture and if you want more lecture like this, so please like, share and subscribe it.